No, we are not in Japan. Hey guys, Omar here. We are in Newark, New Jersey. This is Branch Brook Park in New Jersey, and every year there's a cherry blossom festival, and I thought it would be perfect to take the 50 to 150 f2 by Sony. I am shooting with the A7 IV and A7 R4. And I'm recording this on the ZV-1, so total Sony day, baby. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful everything is. Guys, look how perfect those three little benches are there. I see a picture. The other thing that's weird, guys, is I'm taking compositions as if there was a person in the scene. And I'm shooting alone and I'm lonely. So I'm gonna just do a couple of pictures with as if a person was in them. We're gonna plop someone in so you can see what I was thinking. Just to give you guys an idea, this is 50 here, and this is, whoa, 150. Look at that. Paparazzi action. Crop mode going here for this paparazziness. What camera do you have, sir?
That is the
I ain't outside no more. Here's what happened. I actually, the next day, went to New York City to see the cherry blossoms there. And I ended up not vlogging at all because it was just so peaceful and so beautiful. I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to ruin the mood by taking out a camera and talking to no one. So I decided to just do everything that I would have done in New York here. Now, a couple of notes about the lens. I already returned it back to Sony. It's a fantastic lens. I've been a little bored with reviewing lenses, but I gotta say that as soon as I started looking at the photographs from this lens, I immediately was like, whoa, they've done something really special here. And the first thing that struck me was that it had a fantastic minimum focus distance, both at 50 millimeters and 150. And so I could see this being really useful for people shooting details, you know, like wedding photographers, rings, flowers, overlays. Really beautiful, really sharp. And the backgrounds, of course, are very dreamy at f2. So that's the thing that struck me first. By the way, I don't do technical reviews on this channel. I'm so sorry. There's no charts. There's no nothing. I basically get a lens and go out and shoot it the way I would shoot it. Now, as far as the build goes, if you've seen the any 70 to 200 G Master from Sony, it's going to be very similar. They're actually, you know, almost the same size. You have your clickable, you know, aperture, clickable, unclickable. You can lock your aperture wheel so it doesn't get bumped. The internal zoom is great, so you don't have this honking nose coming out. It has a humongous front element, so good luck buying, you know, your plate-size filters for it. And it has a removable collar, which I appreciate too. That's the first thing I did because I wasn't tripod mounting this lens. It was hand-holdable for sure. Now, the other thing that was a little bit like a big question mark is the lens was a white lens, which more kind of goes towards the wildlife slash sports telephoto lens lineup. It kind of stands out being white is the only thing right now, but sounded racist. I wish it would have been black because I'm an event photographer and I'm not sure that a white lens is really like would fit in. Sounded racist. Now, obviously, the lens seems to be aimed at pros based on the, you know, the performance, the aperture, the build quality, and also the price. The price is about $4,000. So a pro can, you know, write this off. It's definitely a cost of doing business. But if you're a hobbyist, Sony has many other, you know, options. There's also third-party options like the 35 to 150 by Tamron. The one issue with that lens is that it's not an f2 all the way through the zoom range, and this lens is. And so that's something to think about. I think the Tamron changes from a 2 to like a 2.8 in the first few focal lengths. So it's, you know, that's what you're getting with this lens. It was a nice overcast day here. These are the Yoshino Japanese cherry blossoms, which are very old trees, and they only bloom for about a week or so. So I was very excited to see them. And yeah, here you could see the foreground elements are out of focus. This is at f2. I think I shot everything at f2. I wasn't even going to test the other apertures. I thought this was very cool. But you see all these dots in the foreground. These are the trees that are closer to me. And I found myself, every time I have a zoom lens, I seem to shoot it at like the furthest that it goes. So I apologize if a lot of stuff is at 150. That just gives you the most reach, the most depth, the most bokeh. So a lot of times I find that I'm zooming without even thinking about it. With that said, here's one at 130 millimeters. Very nice. And again, I did the same as the sun was coming out. I also noticed that the light was hitting the cherry blossoms here. And I just thought this was a cool little abstract photo. It tells you that it's New York City, you know, instead of Japan, maybe, just by the light. This one was across the pond. It just looked like a beautiful brush stroke, which I really liked. Yeah, looking down one of the lanes. It's very nice in the morning in Central Park on a weekday. There's a lot of locals that have their dogs unleashed and a lot of joggers, people riding bikes. So Central Park is really nice. Here's a nice look at bokeh versus, this is at 125 millimeters. Very cool. And you could see how sort of the background at f2 just is so pleasant, so nice. This is a terrible photograph, but I wanted you to see that you know, this little pup right here is nice and sharp in the center at f2 and 150 millimeters. He was just so beautiful. I had to take a picture of him. Come on. I tried to capture this robin here, but he was directly behind this tree. Oh boy. Standing in the same spot here to get a biker going through these trees. So you get a little bit of foreground. You know, you have the biker in the background there. Sorry, blurry biker. And then 150, here's a jogger going through the trees, and here's a cyclist going through the trees. So 50 to 150, it's a nice range to have. Again, just looking at the bokeh here, a little foreground element, someone walking in the background. And this was maybe my favorite shot of the day. I shot the statue, but the foreground flowers look so nice. It's just kind of cool. I like it. And then I kind of worked the scene here around the statue. Again, I always try to get a little bit of foreground element, and I thought with this lens, this is at 95 millimeters. I wish there was more trees on the right side, but there wasn't. At 95 millimeters, there's good compression. Just a nice little tree, the backside of the statue here, this little guy struggling with his dog. Again, you can see the foreground element there. A biker, anyone who wears red is just, man, I'm a sucker for anyone who wears any shade of red or orange. It just brings so much out of the picture, especially when you have greens and grays. So this just, you know, she's dressed so nice. And again, foreground element, woman picking up her dog. She was actually getting her picture taken, and I just snuck it paparazzi style. But yeah, you can see the distance. You can just see the different levels of bokeh-liciousness here. But very cool, very cool. This was missing an element. Oh, actually, there is an element. Hold on. Yeah, in the next picture, I actually like this composition better because here on the left side of the tree, like if you put someone in this little circle here, that would be fantastic. But yeah, foreground bokeh. You got the flowers. You got nice, you know, foreground blur on this little hill. And then this woman came with her dog, you know, to take a picture of the tree, and I thought it was perfect. But yeah, just so beautiful. The spring in New York. And then there's a lot of couples taking pictures, you know, engagement shoots and things like that. So I got a shot of this photographer, you know, working the scene. And yeah. And then this like little robin came along, and I was sort of laying down on the ground to try to get, I saw this like little lamp, one of these lights in the background. And you could see here that it changes from cat eye to in the middle, starts to get more round right there. And I was trying to get a nice little halo around the robin. But again, this is at 150 f2, but look how, 1.4-ish it looks here with the compression and the blur, if this is kind of your style or what you're going for. Someone riding their scooter with the cherry blossoms in the background. Here I was just trying to see, testing autofocus, and it just did the usual great job that the GM lenses do. One of the statues in New York of this little helper husky, I forgot what it was, but Siberian, just a tribute to all the dogs in the world. But yeah, just another shot. Again, look at the bouquet of the flowers in the background. You just have beautiful blur of the flowers. It's just a really great lens. I really enjoyed using it. Cyclists getting chased by jogger. Sounds like a headline. And again, more flowers here, foreground, the usual foreground bokeh, where I focus on the flowers and background bokeh, and it just makes a nice layered shot here, which I really like. This is funny. All these girls were running past, and they were lined up so perfectly that I kind of missed the shot. There was one little moment I saw with my eyes where it looked like an octopus, the legs. But this is the closest I got to getting the octopus sort of shot. This dog knew what's up. He was getting a little snack, but I just love that he's white and the tree in the background is white, and he was a good boy. He sat down after this. Again, someone wearing red. This picture doesn't work at all, but as soon as someone wears red, I'm like, you're a target. Then the sun kind of peeked through and started, hitting the cherry blossoms with a little bit of light, and so I had to get that. And I didn't really get anything amazing because the sun was going away really quickly. And then I took some boring, this is like the most boring stuff. It's like trying to get shots for you guys, but I hate it. It's like test shots to see what the lens does flare-wise. But I know that there's other channels that are better at testing that. But here I shot a picture, at the sun. I didn't see any crazy flaring. There are some elements, from the lens, kind of like we saw with the 28-70 review. But, it looks like everything's very well controlled. I didn't see a lot of chromatic aberrations or any at all. And I was trying to get that purple fringing and all that, and shooting into the bright sky, I didn't really see it. So yeah, that's very, very good. And then this squirrel attacked me, and that's the end of the story. All right, a fantastic lens. I hope you enjoyed that little story. I'll see you guys next time.